He babbled, calling them goofballs from lurked around corners, auditioning on cue for a Moscow version of West Side Story, a far too calculated parade for spontaneous. I'm scheduled for what now? Feel it? How the street is a perfectly cast venue for a business meeting? Then Hank made a square with his finger and thumbs. Picturesque pose, aware how futile it is to avoid being recorded like American mafia conspirators outside our clubhouse, using the walk just to talk technique for our federal surveillance photographs. I wonder how our conspiracy's photos come out. How much will appear against the grain? Then after that outburst, the most heard from Hank was, huh. But over the following months, especially through winter, Hank would plant his feet on his desk and constructively cut his life into episodes for our amusement. Usually stories about how fond he was of summer. But once, stretched out over coffee, he somehow told us what happened next after we left him alone at the hotel his first night. One of us asking and Hank saying, I'll tell you. Despite my sleepwalking fatigue, I was able to pay attention to the magnificent, intricate workmanship I'd only seen and heard about in beautiful pictures. Real things are more precious in person. Even with my eyes closed, it was a delight to have confirmed information. It pained me, though, thinking of the gap between profit and real estate investments' all too true fantasy of perpetual inflation. The efficient maximization of every speck of utilizable, exploitable space. Callousness is the landlord's burden, though they're not responsible for the facts of life. Hopefully we'll wade through someday. Oh yeah, finally, I'm here in the office after literally days without sleep. I hit the floor, out with the light I'd only just turned on and off to gauge where my hands should land for a pillow. It was the shortest, briefest conscious rest ever mown down by jet lag and no sleep making me skip the entire next day. Poof, gone. After a pee that might or might not have happened, I officially woke, as you all know, the next morning from a dream of myself atop a gigantic monster car driven by Dr. Hammer. There, next to him, I'm larger than life too, and from Hammer's height, looking through his humongous microscope slides for glasses, both our visions were consumed by Hammer's grin that grew and expanded past my ears, cracking my visual screen with an explosion that drove me partially submerged under topsoil where I couldn't grow, just watching in wonder the roots of nature's glowing fauna here below. The green was so luscious, except I was under two pair of demon steamroller wheels driven by Hammer himself, bearing down on me, flattening me, screaming me awake, hating the inconvenient tragedy left in the wake of human progress. Next, loving to read in the morning, I took my gift, the map, to the service locker latrine. No locker, but I still had to pay off the woman in charge, half of what I had left. Then I located streets for businesses within a square kilometer of here, making sure my focus wasn't saturating the city, but acquiring an efficient niche. Finding an enclave of printers or some such repeat deliveries was my hope. Hank emptied his coffee and spoke as if something inspired him in the cup. I thought business was the map. How we're all trained for sales by being required to sell our ideas first to our parents for permission, while those that skip that maturing step seem to be the grown adult children causing problems. Raised in alert to checks and mental balances is a conundrum. Then what everyone learns can be as important as what each individual knows. So then I gave myself permission to pace and find sunlight behind the hotel, and found out my parameters that morning worked out to 10 meters to the street and back to the garage. I verified my alloy steel horse was locked where I left it and the metallic blue made me realize I'd be cringing inside all winter. One asset to living in a parking garage is I can go for short walks indoors. Then I went to the front of the hotel and waited for y'all, who arrived relaxed, carrying breakfast I'd have nothing to do with. I said my reward will be finding our first client. I wouldn't sit for anything. I pedaled a little and insisted, let's go. But the group elected Mikhail, who whined, not even tea? You said the group was ready yesterday and not allowed in the garage. They posted a guard, and did I let them do that? You said y'all were eating now because I was a day late and dollars short. I said, daggum, wondering where you learned that expression. I rolled a little further and made the turn toward the river and put my feet down, then said, follow if you want and drink if you have to, but this company's focus is invigoration from our own business. Food and coffee may be necessary natural stimulants, but they're not from our farm. I put